Our third storyteller, Camila.
When I was 16, I decided to migrate to Australia. I was born and raised in Peru, a country so far away from Australia, so this wasn't an easy choice. Half of my friends and family were happy about me, and the other half was sad, upset that I was moving so far away. My mother, especially, she really wanted me to stay, and she would say all the amazing things that Peru had and all the opportunities that I could get. And I knew part of it was true. But I had a choice that not many people from my country had, which is to go to a better place and live a new life for yourself. So I wanted to make that choice for myself. I wanted a better life, and I knew that I could do it. So I had a lot to prove to everybody. I had a lot to prove in the sense that I really needed to be successful. I really need things to work out for me. So I got on a plane, flew for 2 days. Yes, 2 days. It's a really long flight. And I came to Australia to live with my father, who I hadn't lived with since I was 10 years old. So there was a lot of things that we didn't know about each other. But we got along well, I think. But anyway, COVID hit just as soon as I came. I swear I didn't bring it. Like, it just came at the same time. I don't know why. But anyway, so everything went into lockdown. So little Camila was really sad because she couldn't go out and she couldn't, meet people in this new and exciting city that she had just come to, where she didn't know anybody, and she was like so excited and desperate to meet friends. Let's just say excited, not desperate, but it is what it is. So anyway, so lockdown happened, depression, crying, really fun stuff. But then, the lockdown, the restrictions started to ease, and then life started to return to normal a little bit. So by that, I was 18, and I was like, I'm an adult now. So I went and got my learner's permit, and I applied for a job, and I got the job. So I was like, oh my God, I'm so grown up. Even though my dad was like paying for everything still, I was like, I'm an adult. I got my learner's permits, which I still have because I've never learned how to drive. But anyway, that's another story. So I got this job in this retail store. I'm not going to say the name, but let's just say we sell electronics. But anyway, I had no idea how horrible it is to work. I didn't know labor was, horrible. So, I was freshly 18, and I go into this workplace where all these, people who have lived in Australia for most of their lives and, have had multiple jobs and everything. And it was just chaos. Like, customers were coming in so much, and there was so much to learn, and I just felt like so overwhelmed with so much information. And I was like so scared of the managers, which was really weird because I've never had a problem. I've had problems, but I've never had any issues standing up to authority. When I was in school, my teachers, I was a problem child, not in the sense that I was, problematic and wanted to do, things that I wasn't allowed to. I was just annoyed. I was just I would be the one to call out whenever somebody said something that was not politically correct. I was that hand up, that annoying person. My teachers hated me, but anyway. So I had no problem with authority, but Australia felt like this whole different game, this whole different place. And I just felt like, I had to earn my place here. I felt like there wasn't really a place for me here, so I had to make my own. And so I was so scared of them. And especially because in Peru, if you have a job and you do something wrong, they just fire you instantly because there's so many people behind you waiting for a job. So I was really scared to get fired. I would come home every day and I would just cry and be like, oh my God, I'm getting fired. Oh my God, I forgot to put this in. I'm getting fired. It was the dumbest thing ever, the tiniest mistakes ever. And I was just like, yep, that's it. I'm out the door. I'm gonna lose my job. Even though I did, to be fair, if I lost the job, it would have been the end of the world, because my dad was helping me out with money. So it would have been that bad, but it was the end of the world for me. And it was really funny because I would just sit there, in the break rooms not talking to anybody, just listening to what everybody had to say. And then like my coworkers, Australians, would just come in barging into the break room and starting cussing out the managers and yelling and being like, this is not fair. And I would be like, whoa, wow, okay. But anyway, things at work were horrible for me because there was so much to learn and I just felt like I wasn't learning at the same pace that everybody else was learning. So I would just come home every day after work and I would just cry and cry and cry. And one of the many times that I was crying, my dad came into my room. And for context, my dad is this very emotionally unavailable man, like a lot of them are out there. So he is really not into affection. Like, whenever I hug my dad, it feels like, he's hugging, like, one of his football buddies and being like, like this really weird side hug, Or like, whenever I told him I love him, he would be like, why are you annoying me? Like that kind of dad. But anyway, he sat next to me and like, obviously he didn't hug me or like, not even like there, nothing. And he just asked me, like, why are you crying? And I was just like sobbing my eyes out. And I would be like, because I'm so dumb. And I would just be like, listing all the things that were wrong with me and that I felt like were just horrible about me. And he would be like, and he just said like the most simplest response, would be like, that's not true. And I was like, what are you talking about? You have made such a strong choice to come to a new place, to migrate to a country. When you were so young. And migration, it's a very hard decision to make. He was like, you're so brave. You made this choice to come all the way here. And now you're getting so afraid of what these white Karen ladies in the shop and these old white guys, telling you that, why don't you have this item in stock? Like, how dare you? Like, no, don't be scared of that. You've already done the worst. You've already, overcome so many things. And at the time as well, like, I remember feeling a lot like, like I didn't belong. I felt like maybe my life would have been easier if I wasn't Peruvian, if I had been raised here, which is a horrible feeling to have because I love my culture. So that for me was like, wow, like I really, like I'm really in a dark place. And after what my father said, I was also listening to a lot of Latin American music. And there's this rapper who's called Residente, which I really love. And in one of his songs, he says, Latin America is like a town without legs, but that keeps walking. So that kind of reminded me of the resilience that my people had shown in the past, how we had overcome so many bad things like colonization, political instability, the erasure of indigenous culture, but we were still here and we were still fighting, we were still trying to get back with our culture and trying to make a better life for ourselves. And I felt like, in a sense, I was doing that. And that courage that my people have exists within me. So it wasn't easy. I felt like I was still very frustrated at myself. But I realized that the best thing I could do, not just for me, but to respect the legacy that my ancestors had made, was to be patient with myself as a Peruvian immigrant in Australia. So after, more crying and more, of my dad not showing affection, I sort of, evolved and sort of like became the person that I wanted to be. And not just became the person that I wanted to be, but understood that I was already that person, that I was already in the place that I wanted to be and I could do whatever I wanted. So now here we are. Now I'm 20 years old. I still have the same job. I still hate it with all my life, but I'm not afraid to get fired. So I think that's a win for me. Thank you.